10 a.m. and 11 a.m. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. News at noon, 12 noon. News from across the states, 4 p.m. And our major news at 6 p.m. Citizen FM 93.7. Always precise in news broadcast.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
Good evening and welcome to the Citizen FM News at 6. I'm Lawrence Omoite. President Bola Tinubu has disclosed a plan by the federal government to transfer 8,000 naira to 12 million poor households in Nigeria for a period of 6 months. This was contained in a letter the president wrote to the House of Representatives regarding the $800 million loan request of the Buhari administration for the Social Safety Net program. The president is asking for the approval of the House to secure the loan. He also asked the Senate to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act and approve a request for obtaining a loan facility of $800 million from the World Bank to finance the National Safety Net program of the federal government.
That the purpose of the facility is to expand coverage of shock-responsive safety net support for the poor and vulnerable Nigerians and to help them cope with the cost of meeting basic needs.
The House of Representatives has approved the request of the President for an amendment to the 2022 Appropriation Act. The approval follows the President's request for 500 billion naira for palliatives to Nigerians in order to reduce the hardship caused by subsidy removal. The Senate confirmed the nomination of service chiefs newly appointed by President Bola Tinubu. This followed the screening of the top brass by the upper chamber. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said during closed-door session, the service chiefs answered questions on defense-related matters and topical issues. The Chief of Defense Staff, Major General C.G. Musa, said they were poised to maintain a high standard of professionalism in their assignment.
Armed forces shall continue to serve the Nigerian people dutifully and in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other extant provisions of the laws of the Federation.
On Thursday issued a one-week ultimatum to the Department of State Service to either charge the detained suspended Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to court or release him. Justice Hamza Muazu gave the order while delivering a ruling in a fundamental human rights suit instituted against the DSS and others by Emefiele. Justice Muazu held that the DSS has the powers to carry out its constitutional duties of making arrests, detaining, and ensuring the prevention of internal crime. However, he maintained that such duties must be carried out within the ambit of the law.
First of all, I must use this opportunity to commend the judiciary for its boldness in declaring in the long run that no charge has been brought, and it is wrong for an organization of that nature to keep somebody in detention and be looking for evidence with it to charge him to court. So I think the judiciary is on the right track. 7 days have been given to the DSS to either charge him to court or release him on administrative bail.
The First Lady, Senator, through her Renewed Hope initiative, donated a cash gift of 250,000 naira to each of the 57 families affected by flood at the Trademore Estate in Lugbe, Abuja. The estate was flooded after a heavy downpour on June 24th, destroying property and rendering the residents homeless. Nana Shettima, the wife of the Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented the First Lady, said the First Lady's gesture was to honestly condole with the victims of the flood.
We all know that flood is a natural disaster, and I want to seize this opportunity that we should not allow the flood flow away our trust and confidence. We should keep hope alive.
The National Senior Secondary Education Commission has expressed readiness to set standards in the nation's secondary education system. This was disclosed at a 3-day stakeholders workshop on the implementation of minimum standards document for senior secondary education across the 19 northern states in Bauchi. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Yela Ajali, who advised the participants to make fruitful contributions towards achieving the desired objectives.
Haven't seen the policy that established the NSEC. There are some loopholes which I observed, and I'm right now making effort to see that if the policy can be amended to accommodate those concerns that we are having.
The workshop is being attended by officials from the Commission's head office in Abuja, directors of education from across the 3 northern geopolitical zones, and representatives of the All Nigeria Conference of Principals of Secondary Schools.
Well, you see, ANCOPS, the National Senior Secondary Education Commission, is the brainchild of ANCOPS, because we pushed for its establishment, because we have seen, especially in infrastructure, we have seen what ANBEC did at the primary school sector, and especially the junior school sector too. So the dilapidation is beyond what the state governments can do. And as critical stakeholders in the senior secondary school sector, ANCOPS now push for the establishment of NSEC. And doing that, this workshop is going to give us the input that we will have, especially as principals.
Governor Yahya Bello of Kogi State has extended warm congratulations to Professor Wole Soyinka, the eminent literary icon and Nobel laureate, on his 89th birthday, while praising God for his health and long life. Governor Bello says Soyinka's literary prowess has earned him global recognition and played a pivotal role in shaping our cultural and intellectual landscape. Through his works, he sheds light on crucial societal issues, provoking thought and inspiring positive change. The governor acknowledges that beyond his writing talent, Professor Soyinka demonstrates unwavering commitment to governance and nation building. And on the foreign scene, President Joe Biden has accused Russian president of having a craven lust for land and power at the end of a NATO summit on Wednesday, where Ukraine won new security assurances from the US and its ally for its defense against Moscow.
Today, the members of the G7 are launching a joint declaration of support for Ukraine to make it clear that our support will last long into the future. This starts a process by which each of our nations and any other nation who wishes to participate will negotiate long-term bilateral security commitments with and to Ukraine. We're going to help Ukraine build a strong, capable defense across land, air, and sea, from which will be a force of stability in the region and deter against any and all threats.
Ukrainian president appeared to agree Ukraine's accession to NATO would come only after the war ended.
The outcome of the NATO summit in Vilnius is a very much needed and meaningful success for Ukraine. And I'm grateful to all leaders in NATO countries for very practical and unprecedented support, considering decades of our relations support for Ukraine. Today, there are security guarantees for Ukraine on the way to NATO, an important package of security guarantees. Ukrainian delegation is bringing home significant security victory for the Ukraine, for our country, for our people.
And for some sports stories, FIFA will award a total of $210 million to clubs that had the most players who took part in the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Of all the clubs' Premier Leagues, Manchester City will receive the highest amount of $4.5 million according to FIFA report. Coming second and third are Spanish champions Barcelona and German league winner Bayern Munich, who will receive $4.5 million and $4.3 million respectively. And that's the Citizen FM News at 6. I'm Lawrence